case you didn't know, there is something really cool and very cute available. It's the Shadiversity Plushy! Check it out! Look at how cute this guy is. Look at him. And he is available, link in the description. So, limited time, thing. So, get one while you can. And if they do well, we might even be able to do some expanded, I get one of Tyranth and Nate, maybe even Nathan as well. So check it out, it's the Plushy available, for a short time. I don't know why, he just looks very handsome.
Welcome back to The Watch, and today, Suicide Squad, the video game. It's coming out soon.
Not to confuse it with the terrible movies.
I enjoyed the second one a little bit.
Okay, all right, yep. I've got a lot to say on this topic already. I'm raring out the case. All right, so first up, let's talk about the concept of this. It's being made by the same people who made the Arkham series. Now, the Arkham series is fantastic, 10 out of 10, beautiful. But Gotham Knights came out, which is also a DC-branded game.
Yes.
I also didn't understand that one because I don't particularly care that much, and it wasn't that good, and people didn't like it. Now we've got this one coming out, based on the Suicide Squad. Now, the Suicide Squad is not particularly a very popular team. Don't get me wrong, they're not unpopular, but at the same time, the movies didn't do that well, especially when you compare it to the Justice League. What would you prefer, a Justice League game or a Suicide Squad game?
It needs to be done well on either end. Justice League, of course, has more popular characters that you'd like to see. And this is going into where it seems like so many of Hollywood and the mainstream are desperate to make Harley Quinn the biggest, most popular
Likeable,
character.
yeah.
She was really likable from Batman the Animated Series, and so people were interested in seeing her put into live action and stuff. But they've mishandled the character so much that now people are just getting tired of her because she's just like, again.
I mean, even for me, I need Joker and the Batman in that context to actually enjoy her character. If it's just her by herself,
doesn't seem to hold up, does it?
No, that's not fun.
So the new game, Suicide Quill the Justice League, is exactly that, which a lot of people are taking a lot of issue with because this is set in the Arkham universe, correct?
Yes.
And they are going to, the plot of the game, spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't want to be spoiled, it's in the title, they're going to kill the Justice League. And they kill the Justice League, which doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
I can see why.
Yeah.
So a lot of mainstream have had issue with the traditional heroes in large predominant because most of them are straight white men. And and this is infested in a lot of areas. There was like an interview for hiring someone for, it was the one with Frost that she was a part of, the gaming.
Oh, okay, now you're bringing back some other.
Yeah.
Frost.
I know, right?
On about.
But it was, I even forget what it was called. Wow, like Attack of the Dog. No, that was the documentary about it, which is made by Chris Gore. Check that out. Attack of the Dog. Attack of the
G4.
G4. That's it. Yeah, G4.
Oh man, so I repress those memories so much because that was the worst.
Yes.
But no, one of the interview questions came out.
Sorry, you did not preload that. I had no idea what you were talking about until you said that.
Well, there we go. One of the interview questions they had for hiring people was why Batman is a problematic character, or why something along the lines is bad because he's rich, basically, were the through line of the thing. And so they have issue with these traditional heroes. And in a large measure, I think it's because they uphold traditional values and also they reflect certain underlying things about usually men are their heroes that have to step up and protect others and everything. And so they have had a desire to assassinate these legacy characters. There's an undeniable pattern. Have a look at all the characters that they don't just want to retire, they want to ruin their legacy. Luke Skywalker. What happened to him? Han Solo. How did Indiana Jones end up, Him, a washed-up, divorced loser who is a drunk, who ends up wanting to betray his core values and taint history and stuff, right? So you can go through the list of so many remakes, reboots, whatever, sequels where they go out of their way to destroy the legacy characters. And so this game is constructed to kill the Justice League, which is almost like a wish fulfillment fantasy for these people that hate these traditional heroes. And wasn't there a report on or a leak that one of the ways was it Batman or someone gets killed was like in this unceremonious, really like insulting, flippant, disregarding kind of way where that's why I kind of perceive people having an issue with this, because it seems like people who are making this, they hate these characters and they're getting joy out of gonna basically insult them and just desecrate them, and then they get to kill them.
Well, let's go through all the issues so far. Before the game's even released, I want to add that caveat. The story is to kill the Justice League in the Arkham universe, which, people love Justice League and they love the Arkham universe. We then have the issue of it being a live service, which people don't like, filled with microtransactions. We then have the other issue of it being a Suicide Squad game instead of a Justice League game, which obviously would be 1,000 times more popular. Then we have the other issue of this being Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman before he passed away, sadly, which people loved him as Batman. And then, what was there? Was there any more? Was I missing anything there?
Well, I just want to point out as well, they've taken 7 years to make this game, and previously they finished 3 Batman games in that time period.
Yeah.
And this has been cancelled and reinvigorated 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah, there have also been other red flags about the perspective of the developers, what they're doing and stuff, because there was a bit of backlash and outcry for how they decided to bring back Poison Ivy. Basically making
I knew there was something else. Yeah.
Basically making her look like making her look like a child, and she's like Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn in a lot of instances are usually depicted as having kind of a lesbian relationship. They have a thing, and then she's coming out as a child, which is already weird. And then what really looks like, they make the child look like Greta Thunberg.
Yes, I've seen the photos. Yes.
Yeah, and when you see the side by side, you're like, that's that, and. It's a red flag because it shows that the developers, they are celebrating and propping up certain activists and wanting to put them in their game, and then just weird, stuff about now. Why would she come back as a child? You didn't need to do that. If she has the ability of reincarnation, why wouldn't she be able to just have the power to reincarnate as a full woman? Do they have an issue with the fact that Poison Ivy was depicted as sexy in the original games? A sexy woman, specifically. It's weird, isn't it? It's just
weird. Well, I just look at this and I go, I don't want... I am sick of depressing superhero movies. And just every sort of things that would uplift and... the world sucks enough.
You know why I'm laughing?
I don't want to go to a cinema and be depressed.
Oh, you know why I'm laughing? You guys haven't watched Echo. The whole point of Echo is that she's an awful psychopathic murderer who wants to become a crime boss.
Yeah, it's depressing.
That's the hero of the story. So, yeah, there are so many, suppose they don't like traditional heroism. They like villains more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I don't care about any of these characters. I want Justice League.
And the thing is, too, they could have done a good Justice League. They've proven they could make good Batman games. A whole trilogy of it.
And when was the last good Superman game? Like an open world?
64. And even then, it wasn't that good.
People
it was just
get annoyed by these things because it's like Star Wars or any of these franchises. Instead of spending their time on something that people want, something that's good, that people enjoy, they spend it on something that is terrible. And this is the problem, right? If we got the good things, then people would be much more forgiving of okay, you're working on...
subverting the genre
afterwards. Whatever, I'll do that. But you haven't given us the thing we want yet first,
Man,
so...
I just thought of one of the coolest mechanics for a Superman game. Because, all right, did you see it was an indie game, and it was like a tech almost experimentation on Steam where it had a character who had Superman-like powers, and it was flying around. It got attention because it was like, that's what a Superman game should look like. It can be done. Yep. And one of the issues about Superman is that he is so powerful.
He's OP.
And so it takes someone with a bit of nuance and understanding to... write good Superman stories to...
Just get him fighting someone with magic. Superman's weak to magic.
He has
it'd be good.
But even, because if he's fighting something really, really powerful, right, technically should be able to one-shot them. And I was wondering, how could you have a game mechanic that make it a bit of a struggle? And, here's a free idea for game developers. Take it. I'm not going to copyright this idea. One of the reasons why Superman actually ends up struggling in his fights is that he is actually holding back. Yes. And there's a good Superman cartoon. Is it... when it's
Justice League Unlimited. Yep.
But and which is the one where he fights the British villain?
Yep, I don't know the exact episode. Superman Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, animated series from the 2000s.
This is a special movie though, where it's Superman versus the something. Guys in chat, they'll
versus the British villain.
Yeah,
with the power. Yeah, that's Justice League Unlimited. It's an episode of the TV series.
I'm talking about a special.
And he says that the world is like cardboard.
Yeah, it's like a cardboard, and he's
That's
so
an
afraid.
episode.
Okay, you could use that mechanic where when you're fighting a villain, right, you can actually increase the damage he does and everything like that. But as you damage, you also increase the likelihood of him killing people, destroying buildings, and you as a player have to balance how much power you unleash with Superman versus, and you fail the game if you actually injure an innocent or do too much property destruction. That would be wicked.
So there's a reason why in a lot of animated shorts, usually Superman's fighting, not fighting Shazam, but he's fighting Black Adam. And this is why I was so excited before I watched the movie, which I've got a lot to say on. But Black Adam fighting Superman is always a good matchup because Superman is weak to magic.
He is weak to magic.
And they're both kind of a strength character. Well, they are strength characters. So they kind of even themselves out a bit. So a game fighting Black Adam or something like that, or a magic character like that, or even Doomsday,
is someone with kryptonite. You can use that in creative, inventive ways. And then there are actual characters that are nearly on his level, like Darkseid, like where they are crazy powerful, and he has to unleash to try and combat them. So absolutely, you could make a wicked Superman game if you approach it. But instead, well, we don't want to.
We get this. We get normal people with no powers.
You don't want the heroes you've loved for centuries at this point. Is it almost centuries now? Gosh. For ages, right? Decades at least, right? You don't want those. And then, by the way, they're problematic. Toxic masculinity, a straight white male heroes.
Optimism?
Rescuing damsels in distress. Surely, Lois Lane, when she's falling off the building, she should be able to save herself. So, look, that's the red flags, okay? The game will have to be judged when it comes out.
That's the red flags, like 10 of them.
There's a lot. There's a lot
before it's
right?
even launched, and even the Access Media is like, we played the game and we kind of don't like it.
People said that I went in or coming out less optimistic when I first went in because this game does not look exciting or good at all.
And for those who think that it's made by the same studio that made us the Arkham games, a studio is comprised of the people that work for it. It's only the same studio if the same people are working for that studio.
Things have changed. Cultures have shifted.
And so there's no guarantee that this is going to be on the level of the Arkham games. There are warning signs, red flags.
To put it mildly, I got nothing else. I want a Superman game. I want a Justice League game. Maybe I'll get one before I die, and then we'll be good.
Yeah. Armor. Any other thoughts? Well,
no.
What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, stay on watch.